Hello guys and welcome to the STPL. My name is Kix. If you've not seen me before, this is a team league that's been running for almost, well, over a year now. No, actually, it's 4 days off of being running for a year, which is kind of crazy. But I'm here with Rapid and all.
That's right. It's good to be back again for more STPL kicks. The games today, I would say that FBW versus Seoul is probably the highlight, but watching White Clan stomp some Polish noobs, no, I'm just kidding. Net Wars are godlike, but it depends on the roster that they run. I don't know what to expect, and so it's always a little bit of a mixed bag with both White Clan and Net Wars. Like you just never know. Like some days they play their silver players, some days they just dominate with all the godlike players on their roster. So you never know until you reveal which players they're playing for the teams.
Well, first of all, let's have a quick look at the rankings, and this game is actually going to be incredibly important. Both White Clan and Netwars have had their bye weeks, so they're here. They've got 2 more weeks left of games, including today, and one of them is going to be against each other. Now, Naz and IRK are comfortably sitting in first and second with no losses so far, but obviously if IRK can lose, it still gives White Clan and Netwars even the chance of making it through to the playoffs. Now, White Clan made it to the playoffs in round 3 by 1 game difference over FBW last time. They very barely scraped into those playoffs, so are they going to be able to do it again, or are Netwars going to take a step forward? But of course, it all depends on how IRK do as well. That game's still to come.
Yeah, IRK honestly, they've been playing fantastically. Being in first place still surprises me. I don't know, but they're turning on the Nas. Nas has an O in the end. And anyway, IRK, White Clan, Nas, Net Wars. You should expect to see these guys in the playoffs. For Ash, maybe they make a comeback. Brood War Life, I don't know, my dudes. It's gonna be a rough journey for them.
Yeah, they don't have enough games to come back, unfortunately. But Brewball Life, oh, Brewball Life actually, they dropped out the tournament, so that's why they're 0 for
Oh,
20. Yeah, I just suddenly remembered.
unlucky.
But yeah, they dropped out, but it's all good. We've got a couple of really cool teams here in our first set and the second set as well. But just having a look at how both teams have done throughout the STPL's history. Net was just going back, they came third in round 1, second in round 2, and second in round 3. And White Clan came first in round 1, first in round 2, and third in round 3. So we've got 2 of the top teams from the STPL facing off here.
The top teams in STPL? Wow, that's almost good enough that everybody watching should go tell all their friends to come watch as well, if you think about
Yeah,
it.
it'd be pretty cool if they did. But just having a look at the round stats, both 2 for 2. One of the things you can see from the race stats is obviously White Clan have had a lot more luck with their Terrans. I mean, they've fielded more Terrans, I think, than any other team. So it's bound to be bound to happen eventually. The quality of their players is really high. Same with Netwars. Netwars obviously filled with pretty much every Brood War player from Poland, and also a lot of really really good players like in the foreign scene,
Yeah.
just based on them being Polish. So we could have some really, really sick matches here if we actually have a look at what players we're going to have against up each other. There's actually going to be a lot of mirror matches in this one. Now, match 1 was actually a walkover that was on Holy World SC. Julian unfortunately didn't show up, so it is going to start with a 1-0 lead for White Clan. We're going to start here with Vingsil versus Crush in a PvP, a ZVZ between Kingpin and Fiber, and then we're going to have Boneth himself versus Haji on in a PvP on New Bloody Ridge.
I don't know Crush or Fiber. So, I know Fiber because I take it to stay regular, but I don't know anything about Crush. Ho is the god I really wanted to watch play, but unfortunately, we don't get to do that. So, definitely Boneth versus Haji is going to be kind of the highlight for me. So, we get a couple of warm up games before we hit that. But I do hope that it is a close series and that the fourth
Yep.
game does matter because I think Net Wars, if they can win Bonnet's game 4 and then repeat Bonnet in game 5, then they definitely have a chance to win the series.
Yeah, that's certainly something that could happen. Obviously, we're going to need Bingsil and Kingpin to not lose their games. Otherwise, Netwars will lose 3-0 at least. But if we actually have a look at both our players here, the first couple, We are going to be going into game one. Vingsil has only played one game. He actually beat Herbie. This was all the way back in August last year. He got
Wow.
18 MMR for that game, or 18 ELO. And I mean, there's not really too much to say. He does have last year's ELO rating to even match. He's actually on 2018, so all good. And then if we have a look at his opponent, it's going to be Crush. Crush has only played one game as well. He actually played on the 3rd of this month, where he lost to Sugo on Eye of the Storm. So not having the best luck in PvP so far. Sugo playing a really good game against him. And it's going to be kind of cool to see how he can do here as well.
Yeah, couldn't emphasize more. I just love watching all of like, where do White Clan find these guys? They just like, oh, you're good at StarCraft, come join. Oh, you're good at you're, and they keep doing that over and over again until they just have all the good players on the team.
Well, the funny thing is Radley was sorting out the team rosters because he wanted to add them all to something he's working on, and he had to manually type out 90 players for White Clan, so their roster is really deep. I would definitely say, like, a lot of people have said, hey, maybe White Clan shouldn't submit everyone, but I always like have the ability to field anyone if they can't get someone for 1 week, so that's why all of White Clan are in there. Net Wars have a big roster as well, so they really shouldn't be complaining. But if we have a look at our first map here, it's going to be on La Mancha. Now, La Mancha, a map close to my own heart. I've played this map a hell of a lot back in the day as well, or on IC Cup and stuff like that. It's led some really cool games. It's going to be a PvP. The first one, the first PvP we're actually going to see on this map throughout the entire tournament so far. So if there's one stat that's surprising, it's probably that.
Yeah, I don't know. La Mancha was one of the first maps that actually got played. I think it was in the iHeart StarCraft announcement launch thing, whatever, for StarCraft Remastered. They played on La Mancha, and I was like, wow, what a map to bring back. I definitely would not have called that ahead of time, but dope. I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad that it is such a. I honestly would not have expected this to be such a good Zerg map, but man, if you play Zerg on La Mancha, you're doing good.
Yeah, so let's see how our Protoss players are going to do against each other. It's I know you said it's Kringzil. It's Vingsil versus Crush. Net Wars versus White, Game 2. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the purple Protoss fighting for Net Wars. It's Vingsil.
That's right. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner in the teal is Crush, playing for White Clan.
Now, we've seen so many PvPs throughout the entire STPL. We've had a year-long tournament. Round 1 and Round 2 were pretty much... I mean, I'd say like 100% of the games had at least one PvP in. Unless Seoul were playing. Seoul were like the one team without a million Protoss players, but as we've gone on, it's become a lot less common. And I mean, we've had a couple of PvPs this week. There's been a few PvPs in round 4, but it's certainly not been as numerous. So it's still kind of funny how every PvP we seem to see ends up playing out similarly. I mean, I guess that's just a mirror match for you.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess when you put it that way. Yeah, I mean, mirror matches we actually had a very strong run of mirror matches for what it's worth, Kicks. We got the PvPs we had yesterday, or not yesterday, but a couple of days ago, were actually the most fun I've had in a long time to watch. So, shout out to those for making a good name for PvPs. Otherwise, I don't think that it's something that's too, groundbreaking to say that, PvPs are not as exciting as different racial matchups. But I would challenge that and say that you never know what you're going to get until you walk through that door.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Bingsil's doing. Walking up the ramp into the main, gets the first scout. Crush is actually getting the last scout, so this is going to be a bit annoying for him. He's not going to know his opponent's going for 2-gate until the very last second, but you can see immediately Crush pulls his probe. He knows exactly where his opponent spawned, based on the timing of where his probe is compared to where Bingsil's is, so he knows exactly the scout timings and everything like that. We've got a pylon coming from the mineral line. I almost thought there was a mana pylon for a second, but I was like, hold on. The probe didn't go anywhere near there, so...
Yeah.
Ooh, is he going to be up? Oh, he doesn't block the ramp. The probe gets in.
Wow, I can't. What? Okay, well, I mean, the probe also. So it's microable enough in order to get into the base, but then it just stands still and dies. But I mean, you saw the 2 gates, so that's really
Yeah.
all you need to know, right?
Yeah, because he immediately put down his own second gate. He's going to skip his Cybernetic score at least for now. Going to add that on a little bit later. Now, this pylon positioning, I was kind of a little bit confused by it, but I guess a little bit later on it might help if there's a DT. Maybe if he's
Ah,
assuming that
yeah.
there's going to be DTs coming his way, it allows him to put a cannon in the mineral line a little bit easier. So,
Mm-hmm.
should have a Cybernetic score coming up here for Crush fairly shortly. But Vingzel has actually definitely got the build advantage now. He's actually 5 supply ahead. He obviously killed that extra probe as well, and the probe in Crush's main is still alive.
Yeah, you don't even need to go fight at this point. Like you do have a 2 gate and the zealot lead, but you can actually just expand kicks. Imagine getting an expo down in PvP at 330. Like that's just unheard of because you know you have the aggressive advantage. So this is something I feel like more Protoss players need to kind of get an idea of. It's when you have the room, the breathing room to actually get an expo down. And this is why would you expo when you could just go kill the guy? Valid critique, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that usually killing people is a pretty hard thing to do. Oh, losing the probe there. And now it's 3v3 for Zealots. So I think the best thing you do here is you try to either do micro and win the Zealot war, but then you'll lose that eventually as more Zealots pop out, or
Yep.
you go into the mineral line and try to get a couple of probe kills.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to go for the mineral line option. He does do a lot of damage to 2 of the zealots on the other side, but obviously as that defensive advantage comes in, things are going to be a little bit more annoying now. Crush is actually building a kind of a semi-wall here in the top, or the bottom left of his base, but it looks like we've got a zealot on zealot micro happening at the top.
Oh,
Good micro
Crush
by
is
Vingzel.
Yeah, Crush is actually kind of screwing this up. Not only is he not microing some of his zealots, but he's also losing a bunch of mining time here at the same time. So I don't know exactly what's happening. Running into the mineral line, though, is kind of a big mistake here. Although with the drone losses, or probe losses going down here, I mean, well, come on. Vingzel is actually doing an immaculate job behind this. He's getting range as well, so really in a good spot.
Yeah, there's actually 2 Dragoons against just 1 here. Coming out those gateways, things are getting really,
Uh-oh.
really bad here for Crush. I don't think he's actually going to be able to do this. Vingzel, with really good micro here in this PvP, has chased away the Dragoon from the defense. He's going to be able to get this Zealot as well. And the probes have been pulled again!
Yeah, I mean, pulling the probes will clear this up, right? But he's clearing out Dragoon counts, and even these probes are not actually going to be that effective at dealing with this. Sure, they might. Oh, if he gets out with this Dragoon, oh my goodness, that is so sick. Now he's going to have 3 versus 2 Dragoons. Oh, he's trying to actually run in with the second Dragoon. Man, Vingzel is actually killing it. Where does Poland get all these good StarCraft players kicks?
Well, when you look at the sort of win rates of all the Net Wars players, Yeti's got one of the highest win counts in the STPL, got one of the highest win ratios in PvP. So if you're going to practice with anyone, practice with someone like Yeti, and that's something that Vingzel has the option of doing. And also Net Wars, I mean, they've got so many good players, there's a lot of resources in Polish, I believe, that they can learn from, so where better place to play Protoss when you got Bonnet and Yeti from there?
Yeah, that is true. You can actually just hit these guys up. They're so good. So anyway, the great thing about Brood War, and this is truly a great thing, is that just because you get a little bit busted up early on doesn't mean you're dead. Because the Defender's advantage is real, and killing people in Brood War is so hard. So the game goes on for a little while. Thankfully, this is not a low ground main game. Otherwise, it might not. But the high ground advantage might be enough to keep crushing the game. Otherwise, wait, how does he have vision? Oh, wow, he's just a little bit too far down the ramp. So now, pushing up, this is Vingzel with a huge advantage here. Don't go down the ramp! No! Don't go down there! It's that actually almost single-handedly might have just lost Crush the game. Vingzel, I think this is where he just wins. He's got way too much.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's trying to build the Templar Archives behind this, and if he can delay long enough, maybe he can get 2 DTs out, which will kill all of these Dragoons, or at least block them from getting in the base, but he's losing all those probes. The cannon goes down, and he's barely mining. This is bound to be it. He's not mining anymore at all.
There's nothing you can do at this point. It is time to get out of the game. Wow, I did not expect this to be. Well, I mean, you were asking the questions like, well, can any of NetWars players survive long enough to get Bonus a chance to kind of come out because he is kind of their star player, or at least one of them.
Yep.
Well, I think this is a pretty good way to start off. GG Crush taps out, and Bingzil puts NetWars on the board with a 1-1.
Yep, that was a pretty sick game from Vingsel. I mean, on every single micro battle, he got the better end of the engagement. I don't know how he did it, to be honest, but there was about 4 separate micro battles with the Zealots. He won every single one. He also got probes on top of that. There was probes
Yeah.
not mining, and then like he just runs 2 Dragoons in the base, kills the other Zealots, gets a Dragoon kill and a couple of probes, and then he just ends it like that. Like, that's a really, really well played game by Vingsel.
Absolutely kicks. So congratulations, NetWars tie up the series, and that's going to take us into game 3. Yeah, game number 3, even though it's only our second broadcast.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're going to be going into a ZVZ here, so we saw a relatively quick PvP. I mean, ZVZ, if anything, is likely to go a little bit quicker, but we're never too sure. So I'm posting up the replay already, just because that was a relatively quick game, and that way we can get into
I am in the replay already, ready to go.
Nice. So, let's introduce our next couple of players here, starting for NetWars. It's going to be Kingpin. Now, Kingpin has been around for a while. He's actually played quite a few games for his team. More recently, he's actually played times this round. He started off on the first week and played the previous 2 weeks as well. He beat Sugo on Eye of the Storm, and he lost to Hitmap on Fortress. So pretty much 1-1 on his recent games, and he's doing pretty well.
Yep, I would say that Kingpin is not necessarily the bottom of the bag. He's not the top, he's just right there in the middle. So I definitely know more about Kingpin than I do about his opponent.
Yeah, his opponent's a little bit more unknown. He's only played 1 game, which was a ZVZ against Eon Zerg, which he lost. That was a couple of weeks ago, so he hasn't had too much experience in the STPL, and most likely in the foreign scene in general. He's not the kind of name that you'd see pop up in a Havaki or anything like that. So it's kind of cool to see how he's going to do here against a player on a slightly lower caliber than Eon Zerg. Obviously, Eon has probably... well, he has arguably the best CBZ outside of Korea, so it's a little bit of a step down here. It's going to be a step up for Kingpin, but let's see if Kingpin can do it, can ride the wave of aggression we just saw from Bingzil and take it 2-1. Just quickly introduce our map as well. Yeah, sorry. I was about to go into the game and I was like, wait, I haven't said what map they're playing on. Obviously, the map doesn't matter too much. It's a ZVZ. So, it's Neo Medusa. It's on the ladder. There is a little bit of rotational imbalance, but it's not a massive deal. Obviously, the player, if we get like top and right hand spawns, you see the player's mineral lines a little bit more exposed and things like that. But let's not waste too much time talking about the map in a ZVZ. It's going to be our second ZVZ with Sin on Medusa. William took down Faust here. That was a couple of weeks ago. And let's get started with game number 3. Okay, so starting us off here in the 10 o'clock position, we do have the Red Zerg fighting for White Clan. It's Fiber.
That's right, and for NetWars, in the yellow at the bottom of your screen, it's Kingpin. So yeah, this is a ZVZ. Doesn't get much scarier than Korean Zerg ZVZ. Sort of the spirit of Jaedong lives in the DNA of most Korean StarCraft players, or at least that's kind of the meme. But Kingpin's no joke. I just don't know which caliber Fiber is, because is this like Fiber to the street or Fiber to the door?
If it's Fiber to the door, he's going to be incredibly expensive. So I hope Kingpin's got the funds.
Well, that's the thing in Korea. It's Fiber to the street, but the street is actually right next to your door, so it doesn't matter.
Here it's a pretty big problem because Fiber to the cabinet, which is the exchange, is often quite far down the road, but we've got a 9 pool coming in for Kingpin. Fiber is going into an Overlord, so could possibly see a 12 patch. But yeah, where I live at the moment, when I first moved in, I couldn't get internet for like 4 weeks. It was horrible. But luckily enough, where I'm
Oh
moving
my
to soon, I am gonna go from like 30 megabits per second into 1 gig up, 1 gig down. It is gonna be
Oh,
fantastic.
Kicks!
Ah,
Stop it, Kicks! Oh, you disgust me. Although, to be fair,
that's like low
so
level
100
Korean
up,
internet.
100 down, I don't pay for internet, but the plans for like SKT and KT, 100 up, 100 down is maybe $30 a month. And then 1 gig, gigabit up and down is, I think, $50 a month.
Yeah.
So you do still have to pay for it, but it is actually amazing. And I'm very happy that for once you get to understand the wonder that is gigabit internet.
Well, the sad thing for me is one of the people I used to play WoW with was from the Netherlands, and this was in 2009, and he had gig internet then when the fastest you could get here was like 20 megabits down. It was like, oh really?
Faster internet than basically your entire country.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Even like leased lines for businesses didn't really get up to a gig until quite recently.
Oh my god.
We got the first layer coming in though for Kingpin. This is obviously going to signal that he's going to go for a quicker spy here. We've got the natural expansion being taken by Fiber. Could this be a little bit of a mistake? Obviously Kingpin is going to have a good number of links heading on over, and it's going to come down to Micro once again to see exactly how this is going to play out.
Yeah, I would say that at least initially, it looks like Kingpin is. I always love it when Zerg players hide lings in the middle of the map because at that point, your opponent, his ability to think through the correct ways to play the game, and oh no, Fiber has an idle drone at his natural.
That's for
The
that's for help here. He knows there's things on the way, and he needs the extra.
Yeah, but well, that's what I was talking about. It's like Fiber can't play optimally at this point because he just doesn't know. This is a very difficult way to play because he's going for the natural expansion. And I feel like it's a little bit of hit or miss. If you can survive through getting this expo up, you've got a huge larva advantage. But if your opponent's powering through to mutas, then you're just going to take quite a while to get there.
Yeah, now the one thing to point out is we do have the lair coming in here for Fiber, and he obviously Fiber did have the Overlord Scout advantage, so he did see those 6 lings hatching, which is why he pulled that drone. But the interesting thing is Kingpin, because he doesn't know what's going on in the main, until now, actually built a creep colony retroactively, so that's one less drone that he could have had more lings or a better economy at this point. And Kingpin is actually being a little bit sneaky. He's going to wait until he sees Fiber leave, but he's actually not got Overlord there. The Overlord in the middle just about manages to catch it. And here we go, he's going to pull the trap card here as he pulls forward with his lings. There's not actually that much in defense.
Oh no, he fought in a concave or a convex, but he still won. I don't know how that works, but he might get a drone. Oh, it's a scary slow drone. It ran away, ran back. He's gonna lose 2 drones. No, target the 1 health drone. No. Oh, he could have gotten 2 drone kills, which would have been so huge. But he has to not die to Lynx here. Man, that sunken that he morphed, actually totally worth it. Sickest sunken of life here. And now the drill actually does save the lives of every single drone. No, a little bit of lost mining time, but the sunken abides, and that's going to save this base long enough to get these 3 mutas out.
Yeah, but the trouble is, the mutas aren't going to do too much. We've got Fiber with 2 bases, he's mining minerals on both, and he's going into spore colonies, so he knows his Spire is going to be too late to really do too much, and he's just going to defend with static defense. Now, the funny thing with static defense in CBC is, yeah, it doesn't move, but unless you've got a really high muteless count, it's really dangerous to go in against spore colonies. So the second spore colony is moving.
Oh, he's gonna hit the spore before it finishes. Oh, this is actually tragic. So he's gonna sack the mutas to kill drones, I think. Oh, actually, would have sacked the mutas there.
He
could have killed every single drone there.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to take a load of damage on his second muteless here. There's going to be Fiber with lings going across the map. Kingpin is actually built for Scourge, expecting his opponent to have a Spire, and he doesn't. He doesn't have any scouting information. He pulled all of his Overlords back against muteless that don't exist. And suddenly he's got paperweights.
Yeah, Kingpin kind of screwed up the early game strategy. If he loses a drone here, I'd be surprised. Okay, so wait, did he? No drone loss. But I mean, it's not like Kingpin's totally out of the game just yet. He does have faster mutas, and he's going to be able to build up a count so that if when Fiber finally starts to produce mutas, he might not have enough for a while. But he's got spores, so he can turtle on two bases. And what I've been seeing more and more Zerg players, at least out here in Korea, do is as soon as they see the spores come down, they instantly expo. Because then they've got faster muta tech and they can use the larva from the expo to keep that muta advantage.
Yeah, no, it's kind of interesting because Fiver's been building a lot of drones behind this, so his economy for ZVZ is booming, and he keeps adding
Oh yeah.
additional spores. Like, he's not like he is building a spire, but he knows that the only thing he has to do to stay ahead in this game is just defend. And Kingpin is going to be the one who has to do something. He's not building a ton of blings. As a matter of fact, building a ton of blings here would actually be a good thing. The mutas managed to save all the drones, so that's something. But there's not actually that much on the ground here for Fiber, so if only Kingpin had another hatchery, he'd have the lava to just swell with lings and just push through and possibly end the game, but he doesn't. And that's the downside of only going for this one hatch play.
Yeah, well, that's also the downside of just pumping only mutas. It's easy to think that mutas are the best unit in the game, but when there are spores out, lings are actually so good.
Wait.
Now, he's going to try to target down this spore, but he's going to lose a muta if he doesn't micro it back. He does target down the one spore, and now he can actually target down the spire. Kill the spire! Oh my god, yeah, if he kills the spire, and also look at the glaive bounces, Kicks. He's killing drones with the glaive bounces because they're bouncing like through the overlord.
Yeah, he's actually doing a lot of damage to the Overlord through the buildings. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, so he kills the Spire, so mission accomplished. He should pull back maybe and get this natural up, make sure it doesn't die to Lings. Yep. But I don't even think he needs to deal that. And also, why is there a drone coming out from Kingpin and across the map? Offensive sunken? I want it.
Very likely probably just going to be a miss rally, yeah.
Yeah. No, dude, offensive sunken, man. Go for it.
Okay, let's do it. It's going to be a proxy hatch in the lucky noob spot.
Nah, the lucky noob spot, I love it. So he kills the Zerglings running back in. Honestly, I think that's what's kind of killing Fiber.
Oh, he's actually going for a creep colony.
That's I knew it! Did I call it or did I call it, Kicks?
You called it, but there is a few mutas out for the other side, but it is going to draw them out into the middle of the open, so he's going to be able to go in with his Scourge, with his mutas that he had from before, and kill the only mutas that King or Fiber has.
Yeah, and even though there are creep colonies there, he still wins. I mean, spores there. The Sunken's gonna finish, Kicks.
Yeah, but it's low on health. It's only on 39 health, so the second the Sunken finishes up here for Fiber, there we go. It doesn't even need the Sunken, but he does get the better engagement with the Mulus. Does take a lot of damage, though.
Why didn't he go into the main? He knew that there's no Sunken in the main. Or no Spore in the main. I mean, there are Spores, but it's not in range to save the... anyway, I don't know. I think attacking the main there would have been...
He was pushed away, so he didn't know what was going on there. He just probably assumed that Five would rebuild the Spore and another one.
Oh, he's gonna kill a muta with the Scourge. That's actually really nice. He needs to... Oh, actually, no, there's no mutas in production. It's only drones. Haha, sick outplay there, Kingpin. Nice.
He's truly the Kingpin here. But there we go, the Scourge is still moving around. Oh my god, he gets a Mulus, because a little bit of misplay by Kingpin. Gonna make up for the extra drones earlier. And Fiber is in an incredible position right now. He's got so many drones, he's mining gas on 2 bases. He's actually starting to get a gas bank in CBZ, and when does that ever happen? He's going to go
you actually just never see that.
He's going to go into +1, or they're both going into +1 Carapace for air. Looks like Kingpin will get that a little bit earlier. But he just went in to try and kill a drone, and he lost a muta to the 2 spores, so that's another win for Fiber. Oh, there's so many links on the middle of the map as well.
I know. I was watching this, and I think finally Fiber has come up with the right strat. He's huddled enough to get the muta count high enough to run into the main, and that's honestly the only thing that matters. He's going to kill every single drone here. I think Fiber just did it, Kicks.
Yeah, I think this is bound to be it. I don't think Kingpin can really hold on. He doesn't have the drone count to deal with this. He doesn't have the muta count to deal with this anymore. With no mining, which he currently doesn't have, I mean, he's going to get the better engagement with the mutas again, but Fiber has got a massive economy behind this.
Yeah, and Kingpin has no economy. This is basically over unless he can win right now, and as long as, you just split the mutas away. Man, this is actually really tragic. Now, I mean, the big advantage for Kingpin is he'll have a faster carapace. So one strat would be just build a bunch of mutas, try to win with your carapace advantage as soon as it pops. But the better way to play, I think, is to go try to redrone your way into it. The problem is, like, he'll never be able to outdrone Fiber. And yeah, it's just a rough time to be Kingpin. Unless he wants to, like, hide a base somewhere. That's
Yeah.
actually super viable.
Getting a third heal would be good, but the trouble is he's got so few minerals, he's having to spend every single mineral he gets on adding more mutas, because he knows if he falls behind in the muta count, that's going to be game over. He needs the mutas to win the air war. If he can win the air war once more and defend and kill all of Fiber's mutas, he can still come back in the game. But obviously Fiber is in such an insurmountable lead at the moment with his economy, with his 2 bases up and mining, and with his ever-growing muta count as well. He's up to 11 mutas now against only 8 of Kingpin. So Kingpin is the one in a lot of trouble. And you can see just how few drones Kingpin actually has. He's mining off of less than a 1-base economy with 2 hatcheries.
Yeah, that's not great. And he can't even afford to just power drones, even though he is trying, because he needs to build overlords. He's supply blocked.
Oh, that doesn't help either. But +1 Carapace has finished for Kingpin, so he's going to try and make something happen, but he's going to be fighting over spores, so Scourge aren't going to be as effective, because 2 spore shots will kill those. But there we go, looks like we do have a Muta connecting on the other side. Scourge connecting with Scourge. Mutas versus Mutas, the numbers are in favor of Fiber, and Kingpin is going to run away here, but there's Lings coming into the drone line as well. This is bound to be it.
Yeah, Lings are going to force a pull. That's 0 mining, basically, and he can't turn the mutas around, and there's no spores to run to, and this is where Fiber, I think, wins the game. Yeah, this is going to be it, Kicks.
Yeah, well played by Fiber. He played the perfect style against what Kingpin was doing. And I mean, there's Scourge coming in, but there's so many mutas here on this side that Kingpin just has nothing left. He's lost most of his drones now. There's even mutas in the natural now as well, and on top of the ones he's already got. Kingpin's valiantly holding on, but it's 1 muta against about 11. And 2 final Scourge come out. They don't do anything. GG! Kingpin taps out. Fiber takes White Clan up 2-1.
Wow, well, yeah, congratulations to Fiber and to me for remembering camera back on. What a way to play. I really like games that go to spores in the end, because it's a really cool sort of weird seesaw battle. It's like I got spores, but you have mutas, and it's like really back and forth. And I don't actually think that a lot of players understand truly the perfect way to play at that point. I mean, I don't. So it can be very, very difficult. Don't blame Kingpin for falling there. Fiber really did play that very well. So that means that it's 2-1 for White Clan, and going into game number 4, Net Wars are bringing out their big gun.
Yeah, no, it could have been a little bit risky to do this, leaving Bonnet till 4th. We've seen it happen with teams before, but luckily enough, they've managed to take it to. They've managed to get 1 win. That was not Kingpin. Kingpin just lost. It was Vingzil taking that win over Crush in game 2. That's given them the chance to come back here. So, is Bonnet going to be able to carry them to an 8th match here, or is White Clan going to cinch the victory? It's going to be another PvP when we get back just after this. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We've currently got White Clan 2-1 up against Net Wars here in our first series of today. It's going to be up to the king of Net Wars himself, their current captain. Their captain's changed a few times throughout the STPL, but it's Bonneth. And overall, he's one of the best foreign players. So if anyone can lead them to an ace match here, it's going to be Bonneth. Obviously, there's been a lot of games for him. Bonneth hasn't shown the same kind of caliber that he's maybe shown in solo leagues, but he is 4-1 against Protoss now. This is going to be another PvP, and he's just beaten tons and tons of players recently. He won the ace match against Radley. It wasn't the ace match against Radley, it was the ace match against Hit 'em Up on La Mancha against Ash last week, and just he's just been a complete boss.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than Bonneth out there. Some uncharacteristic losses, I will say, to Jerry K97. I don't know what happened there, but Jerry really kind of came out of nowhere for IRK and really got them a key win there. And then against Eonzerg, yeah, nobody's going to take that away from you. Against Biel, yeah, again, an understandable loss. So Eonzerg kind of the nemesis of Bonneth here in STPL. But Bonneth,
Yeah.
of course, just a titan of not only his team, but also his race.
Yeah, so his opponent going to be Haji. Now, Haji played a few games in previous rounds. He played first in round 2, played 2 games back then where he beat Praise and Beast. Then he had a bit of a break, came back in round 3 and played against Dragon, lost against Dragon, and lost against Terror as well. So, perfect balance, as it should be. He has actually played against, he's played against one Protoss, which was Praise, which he won. He's got a 50% win rate, there's not really too much else we can say. And they're going to be moving here in a PvP to New Bloody Ridge. Now, we've seen some really quick games on this map. It's mainly been ZVPs that have gone really fast. You can see Zerg are actually 5-1 against Protoss on this map, which is kind of surprising. But the only PvP we saw was back in, I think, week 1. It was Nyamnam versus Dentag. And there's not really too much we can say. It's a 2-player map, very easy to split. If we're going to see a late game PvP, I definitely think this is one of the maps that it could happen on. But it's Bonneth. He can play very aggressive if he wants to, and Haji plays aggressive too. So let's see how this is going to take us as we get into game number 4 between White Clan and Naz here on New Bloody Ridge. Okay, and starting us off in the top right-hand position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for Net Wars. Bonneth.
That's right, and his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner for White Clan is our red Protoss player, Haji. A PvP, and did you know, Kicks, 15 years ago, another very strong Protoss player named Nalra won his first championship. So, a little bit of history there. It was the Han Game OSL, and if I'm not mistaken, some maps that we could see in future STPLs, because I was looking at the map list for this tournament, and it's Namja Yagi, Neo Guillotine, Paradox XXX2, and Nostalgia. So just way back there.
They are way old school. So. Like, we had Judgment Day in round 1, which is kind of like the follow-up to Neo Guillotine. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously, there was a lot of good maps back then. A lot of good maps after then as well. So depending on how things go, obviously we've got an entire new season to look forward to. There are some other projects coming up as well. So plenty of time to see plenty of maps, which is always fun.
That's right. So there was your little Protoss history lesson there for a second. Just wanted to educate you guys. Let's keep an eye on what's going on here. Haji, 1 base, gas. He's going to get a cyber core here momentarily, you would expect. And scouting. Yeah, same for Bonneth, but Bonneth is choosing to not scout.
Yeah, choosing not scout here is kind of interesting, but you can see the difference in minerals. I mean, obviously, Haji got his second pylon up a little bit quick.
No, he didn't. Yeah, there's actually no second pylon yet.
Where did Bonneth
get it's not like he's
minerals from? That's kind of crazy.
Well, from not scouting, of course.
Yeah, he even got his got his Cybercore up quicker, so Boneth, maybe he was mineral boosting. It's kind of weird, but mineral boosting is a thing outside of Zerg as well, and this is kind of like a Brood War history lesson. Like, a lot of people didn't know about it, and then people would watch someone like Nada in a TVT, and for some reason he'd just have more money than his opponent, and no one could figure out why. And then it turned out it'd been mineral boosting the whole time, and no one realized. So there we go, Nada bringing in the strats, but we do have a Zealot coming out for Boneth as well. He's ahead by 3 supply already. And I mean, I don't know what to say. They both got a Zealot. Being ahead in supply though, pretty impressive. He is going for
For
range
sure.
faster as well, and well, range is about the same, but he does have the Dragoon out faster. So yeah, Bonet's playing well.
Bonnet is killing it, and I think for the best part of, I don't know, 5 minutes, we shouldn't really see a big difference in this game. But you're right. I was mostly kind of memeing there. It's like, oh no, you've got a couple of seconds advantage here. The biggest thing for Bonnet will be taking out the probe inside his base, and he does have a Dragoon to
There we
do
go.
that. He does it, and now we get a chance to really see what each player wants to do now that they aren't being scouted.
Yeah, so likely Boneth is going to go for Reavers. I would say he's going to go for a second gateway first, but Reavers definitely Boneth's style. Haji, not really too sure about. He has a few options. I mean, if you feel like you're in a bit of a dangerous position, you can try and go for DTs or High Templar for Storm. But it's obviously going to come down to the next few minutes. PvP is definitely one of those weird matchups where you have such killing power early on that you can just go kill your opponent, but if you don't kill each other, then all of a sudden, like, the game drags out really long while both players just macro up to max. So it'll be kind of cool to see exactly how this game is going to go from here. Looks like neither
Yeah,
player really wants to
exactly.
attack.
Looks like what?
Neither player really wants to attack at the moment.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that means that we do get a chance to maybe see a Nexus here. The problem is, like, we're omniscient observers, but it's so hard in PvP to get an accurate feel for when your opponent wants to expand. Because if you misjudge that, you just die. Nexi are very, very scary to place in PvP, unless you do this weird 12 Nex thing that we've seen a couple of Protoss players try. Do not
yeah.
try this at home unless you're like TT1 and you're playing on Plasma, but
And
it's
to
a
be
weird
fair, with
weird trend.
TT1, it's almost like he was doing it to make his opponents do it, so he could just counter it. That was the weird thing. But
2000 IQ.
yeah, it looks like Bonnet's going to push out, going to get a kill on the probe, possibly, depending on if he can catch up. The probe obviously does have a little bit of quicker acceleration there. And he will be running into a few of the units of Haji. Let's see how this is going to go. He doesn't want to take a bad engagement, but will manage to get to the high ground. And a couple extra Dragoons coming in here, going to make this a really one-sided fight, actually. The second gateway coming in a lot faster here for Bonneth. And Bonneth getting a really good engagement.
Yeah, Bonneth, actually, it's a little bit like Muta versus Muta, where if you can get the first kill or the first volley or the first hit, you just cascade from there on out. He's got one more Dragoon. You might need to micro the Dragoon in the back, but he's actually just going to use it to get another Dragoon kill. I think, did Bonneth just do it? Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. He gets another volley to kill the last remaining Dragoon, and now there's basically no way that he can stop all these probes from going down. He stops the gas probes, which are, of course, the most important when you're going to be producing high-tech units.
Yep.
And now he's just going to kite the probes down. And even if he loses all 3 of these Dragoons here, oh my god, he's not even going to lose them. He's going to kill the Dragoons that Haji's producing out of his gateways. And he still hasn't lost a single Dragoon. Bonnet!
Yeah,
What a god.
is ridiculous. He's going to pull back to his extra Dragoons, so even though there's 3 gateways production on the other side of the map, we've even got Obs and Robobay coming in behind this. Bonneth just has an overwhelming number of units, and it's just only going to continue to get worse. One
Oh
of the
my god, he has
Dragoons finally
7
goes down.
probes.
But yeah, this is just way too much damage. Bonneth with a great victory here. GG! Bonneth takes down Haji. 6-minute curse again. And Bonneth takes us to the ace match.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say, man. Bonneth is transcendent. This guy's so good, and you think we're biased, you think we're hyping him up. No. I forgot to turn my camera back on.
I like it.
The idea is Bonneth is the real deal, and he did exactly what I said. One of his team members could take a win and bring it back to 1-1. You get to a 4th game, you get Bonneth, he can win a game, and then we get to the ace match. match. So sick, and I can't wait to the exciting conclusion because I actually don't know who's going to play from White Clan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know we're about to find out if you jump in the replay, but just saw the names on the replay. So for Net Wars, it's going to be Bonneth again, but he's actually going to go up against Ho. So we're going to have a PvZ, the first
Oh,
non-mirror of today, and Ho actually gets a chance to play because obviously Julian didn't turn up for his game. But we're going to be going on to Eye of the Storm here. One of the cooler maps, I would say, in the pool. Let's actually just quickly bring up, I don't need to bring up the player info just because we've seen it already. Let's actually skip straight in to the map info. Now, Eye of the Storm, we've seen a few games on it so far. We've actually seen 5 ZVPs. It's gone 3-2 in favor of Zerg, but obviously that's not the largest sample size. Hopefully that'll go up further in the future. TT1 took down Avi on this map. Kingpin took down Sugo. He lost to Tim though on this map as well, which is where the Protoss had a little bit of a better time. TT1 took down Mitak, and Mitak took down Tupac. So a lot of the same players actually being sent out on this map a few times. It's going to be the first time we see Bonneth on here in a PvZ. And obviously Bonneth is just such a sick player. They get to see more of his games is always good.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I like that it's not a map that you can predict specifically this matchup's EVP, because it seems to be pretty pretty even in that regard. So I don't know. Eye of the Storm also not a map that we get a chance to see in STPL that often. So the fact that we get an ace match, we get to see Ho, even though we didn't get to see him in his first match against Julia because it didn't happen. I couldn't want more. This is awesome.
Yeah, so let's quickly bring it on over to the game and let's get started with the ace match here between Ho and Bonneth on Eye of the Storm. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the Peach Protoss fighting for Net Wars. It's Bonneth.
And his opponent playing for White Clan in the bottom right-hand corner in the yellow is Zerg. It's Ho.
So Ho, I mean, previously in the SCPL, he's actually played a few Zerg versus Protoss. If we look back at his history, I know I didn't show it off to the viewers, but he's beaten Dragon twice. He beat Bonneth before on Flight Dreamliner back in round 3, and he also beat Dentag as well. So, and he also beat Liquid Drones Protoss. So he's actually 5-0 against Zerg right now, and Bonneth is actually only 2 for 5. Obviously, he's taken those 2 wins against, or 2 losses against Eon Zerg. I believe he actually lost 3 times against him overall. He lost to Jerry as well. So Bonneth recently, the only Zerg he's actually beaten is Bobmu, and they're kind of on a different level skill-wise. So Bonneth is certainly going to be up against it statistically here.
Yeah, but tell me more about statistics and how Bonneth cares about those. I mean, I'm sure that Bonneth is going to be very capable in this game, but it is actually 2 very, very strong players playing against each other, so we can actually talk about some pretty high-level things here. First of all, just because of the way that the map works, and it's not a I think it's our first non-mirror matchup of the day. So a couple of things: you don't have a high ground main. But you do have, I believe, a high ground natural. Well, kind of, but it's a big ramp. So it can actually be pretty difficult as Zerg to stop an early like a gateway push. So if Zealots just want to run in, that can actually be super scary. Second of all, mutas are so crazy good on this map. So if you can snipe the first Corsair with Scourge, maybe mutas basically make the natural expansion almost impossible to handle.
Yeah, the mineral position on the natural is really, really strong for mutas here. There's not any room to build cannons behind them. Bonneth cancelling his pylon that's actually blocked the natural expansion. And Ho...
Oh.
O is going to have to expand into a pretty precarious position here to get his third. Now, if you're going to go for a Hydra build a little bit later on, this expansion isn't too bad, but obviously it's delayed. He's not going to be able to add his third hatchery right away. Looks like he's going to send that drone up now. And he's actually, Bonneth is just setting him behind by going for this gateway expand. But Bonneth isn't expanding quickly behind this either, so kind of evening out a little bit. Like, Bonneth isn't getting the quickest Nexus he could do.
You're absolutely correct. I think obviously, you know, the quickest Nexus would be just going emergency straight towards that, maybe a Forge fast expand, if you want to look at it that way. But this is a much more moderate way. It's not like he's building Forge, double cannon, then Nexus. He is going to be putting the
Wow,
Nexus
the
down.
micro
He's going to
Bonneth, man.
So yeah, but he's late on his Nexus. The micro though, insane. How does he keep those zealots alive? I mean, okay, you're 100 minerals late on your Nexus. Who cares? You saved 200 minerals worth of units.
Yeah, he's got 3 zealots here now as well. He's got the probe for the additional hit. 2 of them are obviously very, very low on health, but he's still going to be wanting to see if he can do a decent amount of damage here. Just wants to try and force as many lings as possible out of Ho, because the more lings you're building, there's less drones, there's less economy to go for that big Hydra swell a little bit later on, or as you say, Mewers are pretty good on this map as well, so could possibly be Mewers. But here we go, 4 zealots in at the middle of the map now. The damaged ones at the back as well. Bonneth is playing this out very well.
Sure is, Kicks. The biggest thing to watch out for now is for Bonneth is when does he decide to pull back.
Oh
Look at how many Zerglings he's killing with just these Zealots. I talk about how the natural is very vulnerable because Zealots can just run in there. Now we're going to get a chance to see that in action. But if you overcommit and you get concave, but oh no, I think he actually just tries to hold this narrow choke point into the main, and I think he can absolutely do it. The Zealot, the probe, allowing the Zealots to two-shot Lings is huge.
Yeah, but now both those zealots are low on health. They're not going to be able to do too much damage, even if they get behind the mineral line here. He's going to try and get a drone if he can. But nice hits. But looks like the... Oh my god, he gets the drone with the probe. The probe is actually on 2 kills now, so this is an assassin probe here. Ho is still very, very low economically. He only has 1 base worth of drones right now. He's not been able to build anything but lings. And Bonneth is certainly dictating the pace of this game with his Cybercore coming in.
Oh, you know, he really is. I don't know what to think. Bonneth, honestly, if as long as he can hold here, and he absolutely can with that cannon, just really don't got a lot to say. He's airtight. Ho has no recourse other than to get his third base up and maybe start just pumping a few drones to get his economy back where it should be after having to spend so much money on Lings early on.
Yeah, the trouble is by having to pump so many drones, you're just going to delay yourself even more as Zerg, and that's one of the major weird things with Zerg macro. Like, you think, well, they can just build like 9 drones at once, but those 9 drones aren't units, and when you don't have units, you can't pressure. And obviously Ho does have a decent number of lings outside his opponent's base, but they're not really achieving anything. They're not going to be breaking Bonneth anytime soon. They're not going to contain Bonneth, because the second this Citadel comes up and Zealot legs come in, all of a sudden those lings are going to have to run for their lives. And I mean, Ho's doing a pretty decent job of getting all his drone count back up. He's going in for his 4th hatchery. 5th hatchery should be on the way soon. But Bonneth definitely in a very, very good position here.
Sure is. Now, you know, the seesaw part of that, and that's my analogy word today, apparently, is that and eventually Bonneth will have to get a third base of his own. So he can either go for a super strong +1 speed lot Corsair attack and expand behind that, or try to just play defensively and get out to a third base here. And I want to say that Bonneth is more of a defensive player, but he's gearing up for like a Hydra attack or something like that. And I think we know that that's not happening just yet, even though with the hatchery count, you might imagine it's coming in the future.
Yeah, now this is going to be the first major indication of what the Zerg's doing for Bonneth. He's going to send over his Corsairs. There's actually a lot of really stacked up Overlords. That could have been a little bit dangerous. Even though there's 1 Corsair, it does eventually kill a lot of Overlords very, very quickly. Now Bonneth has to be careful, can't afford to lose this first Corsair. He's going all in with it to try and kill the Overlord. He gets it and will get away just with that Corsair, but this first Corsair is way more important than just a single Overlord. But you can see just that single Overlord kill has actually heavily supply blocked Ho.
Yeah, it sure has. Man, this could really hurt Ho. He needs to be pumping out massive amounts of Hydras right now. And if you don't have Hydra production just going nonstop, a huge flood of Zealots can absolutely ruin your day.
And it looks like that's exactly what Bonnet is kind of moving up to now. He's been building nothing but Zealots off his 3 gateways, going to add a 4th gateway on now. Not even going into Storm as of yet. Oh, there's actually 2 DTs here in the front of the base of Ho.
Oh,
Now, Ho does realize, which is pretty good, because it's very easy to not tell that all of your lings are dying, because they don't DTs don't cause an alert when they one-shot a unit, so that means drones and Zerglings don't set that off. But Ho is going to have to be careful. Obviously, he's got all of his overlords at his natural expansion, but there's no overlord at this third. So if these DT hit there, and Bonnet hitting one of his, I'd say this is kind of one of his patented moves. I saw this a lot back in 2017 when I was casting his games,
yeah.
where he just moves out with 6 speedlots and 2 DTs. And every once in a while it just kills the Protoss player. So let's see if he can do it here. The DT is obviously going to be doing a lot of damage. There's +1 Zealots on the ground. Not going to really have any problems with these
Oh
Hydralisks.
my god.
And you can just
Oh
see how
my
much
god.
damage he's doing.
Yeah, and he can actually hold position DT on the ramp too because there's no overlords for detection. What a legend.
Yep.
Holy cow. This is when Corsair DT looks the best, and Bonnet, I was saying, is he going to like play defensively, get a third up? No, he's just going for it, and he kills the third base, all the hatcheries. Any unit that pops here is basically just going to die instantly. There's no detection. The overlords going down are so crazy that Ho has 60 supply because he had to remax a bunch of overlords, and now... Yep. Oh my god,
He's also going to lose the Evo Chamber before +1 attacks on. GG, Bonnet takes down Ho and wins us the ace match here.
This is why Net Wars is such a strong team, because in the clutch they have these players that'll and just really do such a good job for them. Bonnet is absolutely one of them, and Bonnet gives Net Wars another win in STPL. What a legend.
Yeah, Bonnet is just so good recently, and like Ho just... You could see Ho was a good player, but Ho just couldn't deal with Bonnet's micro at any point in that game. Bonnet just completely outplayed him. And that does do a really big thing for Net Wars, because I think... Look, I mean, I can't show it off fully yet. I'll try and fix it during the break so we get to see the updated results after that game. But I'm fairly certain that White Clan officially cannot make it to the playoffs now. I think Net Wars, they may not make it themselves, but they've definitely knocked White Clan out the running.
Alright, so that's the one where like you think that you're out of it, but then basically, well, so you're out of it, but the least you can do is ruin somebody else's chance to. If I can't make it to playoffs, no one will. Maybe. I don't know exactly what the standings are, so I'm excited for you to crunch the numbers there, Kix.
Yeah, so just to go over that game, Ho did take game 1. That was a walkover over Julian. Vingzil coming back against Crush on the Mantra in game 1, winning a game with pretty much perfect micro in a PvP. Fiber taking down Kingpin by just building a lot of spores and then winning the air war later on. And Bonnet winning 2 games in a row. Obviously going to round out that series. Bonnet just bossing out for his team, and once again just showing the true power of the Net Wars Protosses. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually the sickest win here. Why do they both get +1 though? Oh, +1 win, +1 loss. Gotta use my reading skills there.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Net Wars. What an exciting way to start off today's games. And I thought that FBW Seoul was actually going to be the best matchup today. Man, it's going to be hard to top this.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Our match with all mirrors, apart from the ace match, ended up being really sick. So never count out mirrors. We can always have really good mirror matches. So we're going to go to a quick break. Just before I go to the break, I noticed something in chat. So Rustbrain has been hosting a challenge where if you can win 11 games over 2300 MMR on the Korean ladder using a VPN, then you win $1,000. And it looks like DeWalt has actually managed to do it, so that's really sick.
That's actually amazing. I think Eon Zerg was close, close, close for a while. True Touch was trying, and so were a bunch of other pro players. But if DeWalt actually did that, and we'll have to crunch the numbers on that just to make sure. But
Yeah.
that is insane. Also, from having been to Ukraine and Russia, I know that $1,000 buys you a lot of stuff in those countries. So very excited to see what brand of Ferrari he'll be picking out with his prize pool.
Okay, well, we'll be back in just a few minutes, guys, with series number 2. It's going to be Seoul versus FBW.